Now over this last 2 days, I've driven from A Ranch all the way through to Pierce Point Ranch. And all along the way, I'm witnessing open troughs, big feeding areas. Some of the food for the cows is scattered on the ground. Some of it is in troughs. But the point I'm getting at is that a lot of the ranchers' complaints are that the elk eat some of the cows' food or try to, or that they break fences, etc., etc. Well, for one thing, the Park Service never even bothered to quantify that amount of damage or provide any sort of proof to the public that this was carefully considered before just saying, oh, okay, the ranchers say it's a problem, let's go ahead and kill the elk. But the real point I'm trying to get at is you could coexist with these elk if you made the slightest effort to properly manage and contain your feeding areas, as scientific studies conducted in Point Reyes have actually recommended doing. In fact, it might actually be a requirement that is just never ever enforced. It impacts bird behavior. It obviously impacts larger wildlife behavior like the elk. You very, very, very rarely, I'll go ahead and say you don't ever not see birds congregated around cattle when they're being fed. And that's not supposed to be happening. You're not supposed to be changing the behavior of the native birds. You're not supposed to be impacting population densities by providing a new food source for one species that can take greater advantage of it over another one. I mean, it goes beyond that. Even the placentas of the newborn baby cows attract ravens. They attract coyotes. The Park Service is willing to put in all this fencing, and the Park Service puts it in, not the ranchers. That's a whole nother topic we've got to get into. We, the taxpayers, essentially pay for these fences going in. And the only reason those fences are here is because of the existence of ranches. Now, maybe around a ranch house, you'll see a rancher working on a fence. But the miles and miles and miles of fencing, especially the new stuff that just went up, even before the record of decision was signed, there was no doubt in the Park Service's mind that it was going to get signed, and they proceeded with putting up more livestock fencing, more barbed wire. It's amazing how there is budget to do that, but there's no budget to help the ranchers come up with feeding systems that don't impact wildlife, more responsible ways to feed the animals. Or how about if you're so upset about fences being broken and it's not even proven how much that actually takes place, find pathways for the elk. Develop intentional pathways for the elk. The elk aren't going to eat anyone out of their business by munching on the little bit of grass, these supposedly grass-fed cattle that actually wander through dirt and shit all day long. Where there's a will, there's a way. Coexisting with these elk don't ask for much. It would not take that much to make this work. But I'm not advocating to find a way for ranching to work here. It shouldn't be here. Agriculture is always a conflict with nature. And this is a national seashore, and these people were paid a long time ago to leave. But it just shows again that rather than pursuing an actual effective strategy that would allow coexistence, they shot straight toward, yeah, we'll kill the elk. We'll go ahead and kill the elk.